So today, chapter 2C. Chapter 2 is about quadratic algebra, Q-tableau, and planar automata. So I just remind you of last time about duplication of equation in a quadratic algebra. So this was another way to construct bijection. We have seen constructing bijection like the RSK by constructing a representation of the quadratic algebra with commutative operator. We have seen another technique, which I call multiplication of equation or demultiplication in the quadratic algebra. And this gives back again RSK. So we have seen this is a homogeneous system for the Heisenberg algebra leading to RSK. And then the philosophy is, you see, there is two terms on the right-hand side of the system which are equal. If I want to look at the reverse tableau, looking backward in the reverse way, so it would be good to have two terms different. So I put an index y1, x1, and then, of course, I have to put back x1 and y1 in the equation. So I put again a second index. So I make a multiplication of this index, and I get many, many equations. And then now in the big system, infinite system, then if you know the right-hand side, each term appear only once. So you can completely reconstruct in a reverse way, and you get exactly what I call the RSK planar automata with this rewriting rule going from the northeast to the southwest. And then what you get is a coding of the Q-tableau, which is a permutation. You get the coding of this with reading the label of the edges on this southwest border. And we have seen the second duplication of the equation. Instead of increasing all the index in x and y, I just increase the index in the y. And then I get the inversion table of the permutation. I get this Q-tableau, and the coding of the permutation is just by reading on the left all the y of the left. So we are going to see another demultiplication, the third example, in the PASEP algebra. So PASEP algebra is this quadratic algebra, d equal ed plus ex plus yd. I put x and y for the convenience instead of vertical identity and horizontal identity. So I'm going to put an index so that I can multiply the multiplication of this equation, because xy equal ex. So ex appear twice in the homogeneous system. So if I want that this ex appear only once, so I have to change the index in x2. Then I have to write x2 multiplied by e is going to be e times x3, etc. So I have a demultiplication of all this equation. I have many variables, and then I do the same for the equation dy equal yd. See, yd appear twice in the right-hand side of the equation. So I make an index, and the index is increasing, y1, y2, etc., dy. So I have an infinite system of equations. So what to do is now, is this equation I don't have to duplicate, because the right-hand side appears only once in the equation. So I claim that reading the southwest border of the tableau is a coding of the alternative tableau. So example, this is an alternative tableau in blue and red, or in fact a complete alternative tableau. And if I do my duplication of equation, it gives this. You see, if you look carefully at the equation, then so when you have for example, d, this is d, then y1, x1 appear, here y1 appear. This is a crossing, so the index does not increase. Each time you meet this, so this would be a d. In this label, dy1 is going to be equal to y2d. In this, each time an x or a y is commuting with the e or the d, then the index increases. And on my example, so I claim that the vector, if I read the southwest border, the vector p, reading, so you have, I read p from bottom to top. You read this, so you have y1, y2, y1, and e, which I consider as 0. So I have the vector p here. It's just a vector integer. 0, 1, 2, 1. The vector q, if I read this line, I have d, x3, d, x2, d. So I encode this by the vector 0 each time there is a d, and the index of the x, 0, 3, 0, 2, 0. And I claim that this pair PQ is a coding of the alternative tableau. You can go back to in the equation in the same way that you do a reverse quadratic algebra, going back, but each term on the left, each term on the right of the equation, of this system of equation. See, each term you appear only once. So if you get a term, then you know from where it comes. If it appears twice, then you should put a label, you should put a Q tableau. But if it appears only once, then you don't need to put any label on the tableau. You can go back from a reverse way, from southwest to northeast, and you can reconstruct completely the Q tableau. Yes, Amri, a question?
The last equation, I'm still confused. Those terms appear in...
They appear in the system only once. The term yx. I did not write it. Yes, I did not write the equation of the PASEP algebra. Just delete the index. So you have the first equation is this. Second equation is xe equal ex. Third equation is dy equal yd. And the equation number 4 is xy equal yx. Delete the index and you get back the PASEP, the quadratic algebra of the PASEP system. But I demultiplication of the equation to get many indices so that the right-hand side, each term appears only once. And with this, I can completely reconstruct. I have a coding of the complete Q tableau just on the southwest border of the tableau. Just by reading the indices of the word u, I have a word u and v in the previous notation, the southwest border of the tableau. And now I have many indices coming from the demultiplication of the equation, and I can reconstruct. Because if you give me this term, then I know it's come from this equation. Before, yd it appeared twice. It appeared here and here. So I don't know if yd was coming from this equation dy or if yd was coming from de. So to go back, I need some more information. But now, after the demultiplication, I know exactly this term, okay, it was this one with the indices. So you can completely reconstruct your, from the knowledge of this word on the word u, the word v, with indices in the x, indices in the y, and I put a 0 if it's an e or a d. So I can completely reconstruct my alternative tableau from the knowledge of P and Q. And for joking, I put P and Q to remember RSK. Just a joke too. It's a pair PQ from an. It has nothing to do with RSK. No, but it's at the flavor of the same, because with RSK, just the multiplication of my quadratic algebra give me P and Q, so I do the same notation. The multiplication of the equation give me P and Q. So how to characterize, how to define precisely P and Q? There is an easy definition. So if this is the example of a general alternative tableau, my vector P is 1, 2, 1, 0. My vector Q is 0, 3, 0, 2. And in general, P of T and Q of T is some vector A1, A2, AK, and B1, B2, BK, where AI is 0 if there is no blue point on this row. See here, there is no blue point. So you put a 0. And it's equal to 1 if there is a blue point. So 1 for the blue point, plus the number of cells in the same row which have this label. A blue line is crossing the cell, and only a blue line. So you see here, I have 0, there is no blue point. Here there is one blue point, I put a 1. Here I have a blue point. This doesn't count, but then I have a cell here having this label here. So I put a 2. And here I put 1. There is only one blue point. And same dually in column. This number, this red number 0, 3, 0, 2 is the number of red, if it's a 0, if there is no red point in the column, and it's going to be 1 plus the number of cells which are crossed by a single red line. So here I have 3, for example. I have 1 for the red point, plus 1. This doesn't count, plus 1, give me 3. So I claim that I have a bijection. I have a bijection between alternative tableau and such a pair of vector P and Q with integer. And the definition of P and Q, see, it's obvious from the rewriting of the equation of the duplication. It's each time the indices in row increase, it's because there is a single line like this. Here there is a label D on these edges. Here a label Y index at an index, and it increases by 1. If there is this crossing here, it does not increase. So it's just a recipe. See, maybe you would be tempted to, when I have this equation, maybe you are tempted to increase also the index. There is no need to increase. But then if you increase the index here, which is where there is no need, you put x, yj equal y, j plus 1, a plus 1, then you will, the vector P and Q, the bijection would be stupid because the vector P and Q, you are just counting, in case you are counting this crossing, the vector P and Q will only be the distance for each blue point from the vertical axis. If you are counting, we are counting also this. So it's obviously, if you know the distance of all blue points from the vertical axis, if you know the distance of all red points from the horizontal axis, of course it's a bijection. So see this recipe of demultiplication, you have to be careful not to make too much multiplication, not too much increase of indices. If you do make a profusion of indices, then you will have stupid bijection. So if you are smart and make the minimum possible of duplication, then you will get maybe some beautiful bijection.
We don't know the image of the bijection.
No, so this is open research problem. So I call this the research problem. It's to what is the characterization of the pair PQ, and so research problem. It's I call this pair Adela. I will explain why I call this Adela bijection. So if you have a research problem, if you have an alternative Catalan tableau, I mean, then give a characterization of the pair PQ. They are not independent. And we know that the number of such tableaux is n plus 1 factorial. We will see in the next chapter, in chapter 3, a bijection. There will be 2 bijections between alternative tableau and permutation. So open research problem, try to find a direct bijection between the pair PQ and permutation. I have no idea if it's really very difficult or not, but it's a research. Just give you some idea. And this bijection is new. It's nobody has considered this in the literature. It's just an example of the multiplication of equation. And in fact, I will use it. I will give a seminar on Marolles-Poset, on with extant Tamari lattice, Young lattice, many things. And I will use it by using Catalan. If you have Catalan alternative tableau means that there is no cell which correspond to the Q. There is every cell is blue or red, or at the left of a blue, or below a red. So also there will be a special chapter on Catalan alternative tableau. And in that case, you see here is a Catalan alternative tableau, and the blue vector is characterized by the fact that if you put some vertical edges in the tableau, in each row, the distance of these vertical edges in yellow to the border, east border, is equal to this blue number. So see the distance between these 2 edges is 1. The distance between these 2 edges is 1. Distance between these 2 edges is 2. And distance between this is 0. And what you get by constructing this yellow path from the blue vector, in the case of a Catalan alternative tableau, you get a path which is, you get another Ferrer diagram which is included in the previous Ferrer diagram. You get a path which go east or south. So this is the characterization of the P vector in case of the Catalan alternative tableau. So we'll see this in more detail, that we have, and this will be a bijection between Catalan alternative tableau and pair of paths, such that all the paths go east or south, and one path is below the other one. And this will give a proof that such tableaux are counted by Catalan numbers. And in that case, I need only the P. If you give me the P, I get the Q. I don't need the pair PQ. One of them, like the P, will define the Q. And the Q in a dual way, if you put another path, such that the distance between each horizontal edges in each column and the yellow path is given by the red number. So here is 1. Distance between these two steps is 3. Distance is 1. Distance is 2. Distance is 0. Again, I have another path and another bijection between Catalan alternative tableau and pair of paths. So if you know P, in the case of there is no cell which are counted by the Q analog, so the TASEP, the quadratic algebra of the TASEP, where Q equals 0, if you give me P, then I get Q. And I call this, there is a duality between the two paths. I can go from one to another. There's a duality between the pair of paths. I call this the Adela duality. And why Adela bijection? Why I call this Adela bijection and Adela duality? Yes, question? The yellow path. So I have two different definitions. If you give me the blue number, then you construct in each row, you put the vertical edges in yellow, such that the distance between these vertical edges and the border of this row on the east, the distance between these two edges will be the blue number. So here the distance is 1, distance is 1. The distance between these two edges, the border and this is 2. So the blue number gives you the distance. I put some vertical edges, and then there is a lemma proposition which tells you that these vertical edges, they form a path going from the northwest to southeast, a path in east step or south step. So this is a characterization of P. Any path in yellow of this condition will give you a P symbol and will give you an alternative tableau. So this construction of demultiplication of equation, I don't know what to do in the general case of permutation or general alternative tableau, but in case of Catalan, then we will use it many times. In the class and also in a seminar I will give on the relation between this and Tamari lattice, Young lattice, and other lattice. I call this Maole family of poset. But this construction is only for the blue vector. You can also construct for the red vector, and the bijection between Catalan alternative tableau and pair PQ, you just need to know the P. If you know the P, then you know the Q. If you know P, you know the path, you know the alternative tableau. So we will say this, just to give you some example of a demultiplication of equation, which gives something which is very useful for the combinatorics of Catalan numbers. And
can you recover the red point from one part?
Yes, we will see this from. If you give me a path, then I can reconstruct the. If you give me this path, I can reconstruct the blue point, and if I know the blue point, then I know the red point. Well, this is all the combinatorics of Catalan alternative tableau. So we'll see this in chapter 3 or 4. So I don't want to develop too much on this, just to give you an example of this demultiplication of equation, which in the case of Catalan leads to really some interesting result we will need in the class to study the Catalan alternative tableau. And you may ask why Adela bijection. Is because I have all this inspiration when I was in Chile, in the Pacific Ocean, in Isla Negra is the town of the famous poet and Pablo Neruda. This is the house of Pablo Neruda near the Pacific Ocean, and with Marta we have a good friend Adela who gave us a house, and in her house near on this beautiful place, Isla Negra, I was inspired by all this demultiplication of equations. So in honor of my friend, I put the name Adela. She's not at all a mathematician, but I need a name, and I put Adela bijection and Adela duality to remember the beautiful moment in Isla Negra. Along the, when Isla Negra, they had good wine. This is Ode to the Wine by Pablo Neruda, this famous Chilean poet. So a combination of beautiful nature, beautiful science and combinatorics, and beautiful meal and wine, and a good combination. Okay, so now we have finished about example of demultiplication of equation. And I start with a general, another quadratic algebra, which I call the quadratic algebra Z. Some physicists told me it for Zamolodchikov. Oh, it's an algebra with four generators. I will put B, instead of B prime, I will put B and B dot. Sometime we will put, instead of B with a circle like this. There will be a full dot or just a circle, empty circle. So there is four generators, B dot, A dot, B, and A, and 8 parameters. There will be some 4 Q analog and 4 T analog. And here is a system of equation. I will call this the Z quadratic algebra or the XYZ quadratic algebra. So you have any pair of letters, you commute them with a certain coefficient, plus the same monomial when you replace, if it's a letter with no dot, then you put a dot. If there is a dot, you delete the dot. The same monomial, the kind of dual. If there is a dot, you delete it. If there is no dot, you put a dot. So this is the most general quadratic algebra, which will contain in this section all we have seen before, alternative matrices, etc., etc. So if you specify some quantity for the parameter, you put Q equal 1 or 0, then you will get some special quadratic algebra with the Q tableau, complete Q tableau, will be very classical object. Will be plane partition, tiling, alternative sign matrices, full epoch loop, etc. There's many objects in literature which are contained as a complete Q tableau of this quadratic algebra. Also, the X, Y, Z, if you are a student in quantum mechanics, maybe you heard already of the spin chain model, the XXZ spin chain. There is the XXX, XXZ, and the XYZ. I will just touch a little sample of this with the famous Razumov-Stroganov conjecture. Yes, question you. The logic for the coefficient is, so the dot, you see, there is a empty dot or full dot. I take this notation. The logic is when you are on this column, so everything is a Q. When you are in this column, a Q means you just commute the two letters. A T means you commute, and if it's a letter with no dot, you replace by a dot. If it's a dot, if it's no dot, if there is a dot, you delete the dot. Then the indices is exactly the indices of the left-hand side. See here, there is a no dot, 0, 0. Sometimes I put no dot, or sometimes a dot like a 0, a circle with empty circle. So here, for example, you have a plain circle and an empty circle, so I put this plain dot and empty dot. So the indices below mean only the left-hand side. The indices to remember which monomial you start in the rewriting. And then when you rewrite this into the right-hand side, you have two different choices to rewrite it. Then first choice will be a Q, and second choice will be a T. So Q and T are just parameters. It may be numbers or polynomial, or maybe 1 or 0 or Q analog. So the Weil-Heisenberg algebra is a special case. We put Q here, we put 1 1 here, and then 0, 0, 0 everywhere here. So this was a homogenization of the Weil-Heisenberg algebra, and this indices becomes the identity operator. So a special case is the algebra UD equal du plus identity. The homogenization of this algebra we have seen many, many times is a special case where you put 0 everywhere here. And you put 1 here, and 1, 1, 1, and you keep the Q for the number of inversion of permutation. So all this story is related to some very deep combinatorics and theoretical physics. Here is you see here the XXZ quantum spin model. So you don't need to understand anything on quantum spin chain. There is a Hamiltonian everything. So this is related to the 6-vertex model, and this paper is a famous states the famous Razumov-Stroganov conjecture. I will say a word at the end of this chapter about this very beautiful relation between this combinatorics and this physics. Just a sample. You don't need to know anything on theoretical physics. I will try to make just a sample, open a window, and all these beautiful things, mixing very difficult, very hard combinatorics and theoretical physics. So first, what are the Q-tableaux? The complete Q-tableau of this algebra. So the complete Z-tableau or complete XYZ tableau. So here is a complete Q-tableau. So you have a certain Ferrer diagram. On the border, the horizontal edges are always some letter B. Maybe B with a 0 index or B with a plain dot, and A with two kinds of A. And this is a possible complete Q-tableau. So you have some rewriting rule. You see, you rewrite this as you have two. Each time you rewrite a pair BA, you have two choice. If you just commute, or if you commute and change a dot in no dot and no dot into dot. And so I put the parameters each time of this rewriting. So this is a possible complete Q-tableau. So when I put this, this means this is a letter on. It's a short notation for this. This means the B, all these letters here are B, and this is B indexed by a plain dot and B indexed by an empty dot. Same for the vertical edges. This is an A with a dot, an A with an empty dot. So in fact, complete Q-tableau, there is 8 possible labels, but we have seen that we can, because each equation there is only 2 terms, so we can encode such tableau by 2 colors. You don't need to put all the 8 possible labels. 2 colors is sufficient. So why not to put this color? So all this cell here coming from this rewriting, I will put empty cell. Maybe I will keep the Q, and all this cell here, I will put a brown. So you just need to define. So such configuration, see, if you give me any words W, you have a Ferrer diagram. Any words in these 4 letters, you have a Ferrer diagram. You look the word W1, Wn, and you will put an east or south step according to the fact if Wi is a B or a B dot, or a vertical step if an A or an A dot. And here is a possible configuration for a Q-tableau. So you label the cell only with two possible colors. If you give me the letters on the northeast border, then I can completely reconstruct the complete Q-tableau. From this, so this configuration, this tableau is a stupid tableau. You just in each cell you have 2 different choices: empty cell or putting a brown square here. So I call this stupid configuration. It's a tableau for this algebra. It's very simple. It's just a choice, a subset of the cell. Just choose any subset. So I call this configuration just for fun, B-A-B-A, B. Because in French, B-A-B-A means when boys or students or girls at the baby school they learn the B-A-B-A to pronounce A, B, A, B, B. So B-A-B-A is just the beginning of. And so just to remember you that this configuration it's not a beautiful tableau like the alternative tableau, all this tableau. Here it's a Béaba Béaba tableau, and also because Béaba in French, it's written like this. So it is remember you the operator B dot A dot and BA. This is the Béaba of the tableau in this algebra. And then from this there is a bijection. There is a bijection between if you give me a word W, like this word on the northeast border of the Ferret diagram, you give me a word W in the four letters B dot, A dot, B and A, and then this word, and you give me a subset of the Ferret diagram, a stupid configuration, the Béaba configuration, then this will give me a complete Q tableau. So there is a bijection. This is an example of Q tableau. We have seen Q tableau, reverse Q tableau. Here it's the first definition, a Q tableau. And for the quadric, for the PASEP algebra, we need 3 colors. And for the Weil-Heisenberg algebra, we need only 2 colors. And here again, even if the algebra will give you some very complicated objects, 2 colors is sufficient. And so the rule to define to go from the Béaba configuration to the complete Q tableau. So you give me any subset of the Ferret diagram associated to this word W. And then the label, you give me any cell in the tableau T, in the Béaba configuration. Then you will have, if the cell belongs to the configuration, you will put a label T index XY. If it does not belong, you will put the Q index XY. And X and Y are defined by this. So just take any cell, the cell in the Ferret diagram. I define B of alpha to be all the points of the configuration which are above this sequence of points. I define G of alpha, all these points here. B and G is for the Adriano-Garcia notation. B is the bras, the arm, and G is la jambe, the leg and arm, and there is co-leg and co. So this is a French notation. And then you put X and Y will be a plain dot or empty dot, according to the fact that something is missing. Is if the number of elements is odd, if the number of elements here is odd, is an odd number of elements, then and A0. You look the letter on the border. It can be A index empty dot or A index dot. If there is an even odd number of such a point, each time you cross, when you do the rewriting, each time you cross one of these brown cells, then the letter changes. If it's a dot, it's the dot. So just to count if this number is odd or even, and then it will be the index of the X here will be the same, will be reverse to the index of the A, or will be the same according to the fact to the number of elements of this jambe, this leg here. If the number of elements is odd or even, the dot of this here will be the reverse, the opposite of the dot here, or will be the same if it's odd or even. And analog for if you look above, there should be B here. There should be a B, yes. Here it should be a B, here, yes.
Also should be.
Yes. Ah, yes, it should be B here, okay. This is B. What I have done, I have repeated the same. Yes, sorry. So this would be a B. If the number of elements in the column above the cell, number of elements is odd or even, then the index here will be the same or the dual index.
No, this is still for X. This is correct for X. This is correct for X.
Ah, yes, yes.
Other rule, I mean.
Ah, yeah, no, it's correct. Yeah, yeah.
But for X.
For X, yes. And for Y, now, yes. I was confused. You confused me, and I was confused, doubly confused. So for X, it was correct, yes. I just look on the right here, and it depends if the letter on the border is A empty dot or is A with a full dot, then the dot here will be the same or opposite according to the fact that the number element of J of alpha is odd or even. And analog for the y, you have just to look the b in b of alpha if it's odd or even, and you have just to look the letter above on the border if it's a b full dot or empty dot. So, for example, you start with b with this border with any letters in a dot, b dot, and then if you here there was a rewriting b. This b a dot gives this. You just commute because when it's empty cell, you just commute, and if it's a cell of the configuration of the B-ABA configuration, then you commute, but you change. So if it was a dot, this became a no dot or the empty dot, and if it was b with a full dot, this became b with a empty dot. So you continue like this, and so you can fill up all the whole diagram, and you see it's just a question of parity of number of cells at the right, number of brown cells at the right, number of brown cells above, and it's just a question of parity. So you can reconstruct completely the full complete tableau with the 8 parameters, with the 8 possible, and you can reconstruct all this. So just from a single, very simple configuration, which is just a subset of the Ferrari diagram, if you give me the word on the border, of course, if you give me the border, for each edges, there is 2 possibilities, B or B dot, etc. But if you give me the full word W, then I can completely reconstruct the tableau. So this gives you a bijection between this B-ABA configuration, which means subset of a Ferrari diagram. And if you give me the word at the border, then I can get the complete. Even we can make some more bijection. Some more bijection by saying, okay, you have a certain rule. When I meet a brown cell, I give a rule that we are going to change the rewriting. So the rule giving, when there is a brown cell, I was always, well, I should maybe go back to the system of equation, yes. You see, the rule was each time I have a brown cell means element of the configuration means, okay, I was doing a rewriting like this. But now you can even make more sophisticated bijection by saying that the rule that, okay, I will consider it as else a commutation or else a commutation with change of indices. You can make this rule different for each cell of the Ferrari diagram. Here the rule was the same for all the empty cell and all the bound cell, but you can define in a more sophisticated bijection by saying the rule, okay, the rule depends of the cell, of the geographic position of the cell. So this can make some more sophisticated bijection between a subset and okay, now we have introduced in the previous chapter alternating sign matrices. So there are going to be a special case of such tableau. So you remember alternating sign matrices, matrix with 0, 1, and -1. The sum of the entries is 1 in each row and column, and the entry alternate in sign. So we can see this as also as a two-color tableau. And in fact, this is a special case of the X, Y, Z tableau, or the Z tableau, a special case where you have exactly the same equation, but we put a 0 in this parameter. So I claim that the Q tableau, the complete Q tableau for this system of equation are exactly the alternating sign matrices. It's because you just have to put these two in. These 2 parameters equal 0, and this will give you a characterization of the alternating sign matrices. Right, you start with the word W equal Bn an. At the end, you have UV equal the same, but with a dot everywhere, and so this is a possible alternating sign matrices. We have seen this with the 6, so this is a complete tableau. where you see this is missing. The two equations here, this term are missing. And in fact, there is alternate sign matrices. You don't need to put three colors, the empty colors, the blue and the red. You need only to put two colors. So this will be the two colors for the system equation alternate matrices. So this is an alternate sign matrices. So it's a certain configuration. And there was an exercise to give a characterization of such configuration, which give alternate sign matrices. So I give you the solution. It was maybe easy. So again, for any cell, you define this G of alpha and B of alpha, all the point of in brown of the configuration on the right, all the points in the Ferrer diagram above. And the characterization is that for any cell alpha, the number of elements of B of alpha and the number of elements of G of alpha, they have the same parity. And second condition, in each row, in each column, the number of cells in the configuration C, in the brown cell, are odd. And you can see that this will be a characterization of a B-ABA configuration, which give, in fact, which are alternating sign matrices. It's because if you see, because of the first lemma I gave before, if they have the same parity, then if they were different parity, then you will have a rewriting B A prime equal A prime B, something like that. They will be rewriting B and A dot, full dot, give A and B dot. It's if there was different parity, and this, of course, because the sum of the element in one row must be 1, so there must be at least one blue point. The point blue and red alternate in colors, but in each row and each column, there must be one blue point at least. So the number of elements of the configuration is odd. So if you take, if this number is anything, then this would be incomplete alternate sign matrices. You can define more general alternate sign matrices. Incomplete means at the end, you are one blue dot is missing, or the sum will be not 1, but will be -1. So now I give you, there is a very difficult open problem, but I give you some connection. This class is, everything I say on the tableau, on this quadratic algebra is elementary things, but this connects with some very difficult research problem. So it may be interesting to show you one of these problems. There was a paper by a physicist in Lyon in 2005 about the XXZ spin chain model. So if you don't understand nothing, it's not important. So there is many computation in this paper about correlation in this model, spin chain model. And the surprise is at the end of the paper, you have this page. And if you look carefully, so you have some polynomial with integer coefficient. And if you look the first coefficient, and you see 1, 2, 7, 42. If you look the last coefficient, then you will have also the same. So on both sides of this polynomial, you have the number of alternate sign matrices. And in this paper, even they don't know if this is integer. This is open problem. For the physicists, it was a surprise. They make a computation from this. From the solution of the physics problem. They make computation and they discover that it was integer. It's not obvious. And it was positive integer. And on the border, so you have a polynomial, the number of alternate sign matrices appearing on each side. And if you take the sum of all the coefficients, the sum of all the coefficients is 2 power n to the square, which is exactly the number of trivial configuration.
Is it always symmetric?
Yes, it's symmetric. It's polynomial, which are symmetric with positive integer. And physicists ask, it would be very nice, very interesting to have a combinatorial interpretation of this polynomial. They're unimodal. On both sides, on both sides, you have the number of Altair matrices. The whole polynomial, the sum of the coefficient, is 2 power n to the square. So which is exactly the number of total number of trivial Beaba configuration on a n by n grid. So this is a very interesting problem, probably very, very difficult, because you have to understand the physics first. But Suresh will translate this problem into, if it's put into a commutative way, then you can start to find a commutative interpretation. Or else, no, I try to find, by taking this trivial configuration, and by random trying to put some parameter, So without knowing anything on the physics, try to put some parameter, so that on the both sides you get the number of Einstein matrices, and in the middle, the whole coefficient will be all the such trivial configurations, which are counted by 2 power n to the square. And I was thinking that maybe the duality between both sides, maybe is taking the complement of the configuration to explain the symmetry of this polynomial. And we will see that taking the complement, if you take an Altair-Einstein matrices, which is a special case of such configuration, if you take the complement, this is analog to take the FPL, the so-called famous Foulet-Packloup configuration. So I was dreaming of one side I have the FPL. I will explain at the end of this chapter what is FPL, Foulet-Packloup. On the other side, Einstein matrices in the middle. So try to find a parameter on this. Maybe it's I don't know. This is purely experiment without knowing anything of the polynomial. But if physicists explain us how to define, because I try to look the paper, but it's very far from what I can understand. So this was an example of a Q tableau, the Altair-Einstein matrices for this general 8-parameter matrices. So we are going to give another example, the rhombus tiling. So rhombus tiling are going to be in bijection with certain Beaba configuration of this algebra. So what is a rhombus tiling? You take the triangular lattice, and you take an hexagon like this. You see an hexagon A with size A, B, C, A, B, C. And you have 3 kinds of tiles. You connect two triangles by an edge, and there is three possible type of tile. And this is a tiling of the hexagon. There is very beautiful, explicit formula for the number of such tiling. And we are going to prove that the such tiling are in bijection with a certain Q tableau. It's a plane partition, yes. So I will do plane partition, do tiling, but it's maybe better to look at this as a tiling to see how it is a Q tableau. So first I will, instead of working with a triangular lattice, to work with the algebra, I need a square lattice. So I will make a deformation of my hexagon, ABC. I will make a deformation like this to have, again, a tiling. So the triangular lattice is just a square lattice with a diagonal step. So the 3 different tiles become this. The square, this, and this. This is just a deformation of the triangular lattice. Right? To have the square lattice with diagonal step. So here the hexagon becomes this. You have this tiling. And I can complete this, what is missing here. I will complete by this tile, put all here green tile, to put all yellow tile. So this will be a bijection between tiling of the hexagon ABC and tiling of the square. So the square, so you have A, here you have A, here you have B, and here you have C. C, A, again, B, and C. So you will have a tiling of this of the square lattice now with these 3 kinds of tile and with this special border condition here and here. So I am going now to encode this by operator. I put some operator on the edges, so I have to put some color on the edges. So there is 3 types of tile, and so if the border, so you can look when I'm going to do parcours. I am going to put the rewriting rule of the algebra on the square lattice. So I will sometime I will make some border of the tile, which are in a full line, or in a dot line I will put when I am inside a tile. And I will have 4 possible labeling for the edges. So if I am at the border of a tile, I will put horizontal edges a B, vertical edges an A. And if I am inside a tile, a dot, I will put B dot and A dot. And then I am going to read my tiling with this operator, like the idea of planar automata or rewriting. I'm going to read the whole tiling and see what happens with the operator B, A, B dot, and A dot. So first, if you have a B followed by an A, so this is edges of a tile, and I can, looking all the possibility configuration, I have 2 possible configuration. So I have a tile like this, so the BA was this, so BA becomes AB, or the BA was exactly this, and I am in this configuration where now the new operator A point A dot B dot become, because it's edges inside a tile. It's clear, huh? It's when you have this configuration, BA give AB, or here BA on this border give A dot B dot because I come inside a tile. And this is a 2 possible case where you have a tile having this B and A are border of a tile. So you have this equation written in quadratic form, then BA equal AB plus A dot B dot. Now what happened with B dot A dot? If you look carefully, there is only one possibility to have this configuration. If you have 2 edges which are inside the tile, then this is the only possible way, and this give AB. B dot A dot give AB, so you have this rewriting rule or this equation. So I have 2 cases. In fact, I have 4 different cases. 2 cases for the horizontal edges, 2 cases for the vertical edges. So this is the 3rd case, B dot A. So B dot A is exactly this configuration, is the only one, which gives me this equation. And dually the same, B A dot give A dot B, which gives this equation. So this is the quadratic algebra related to tiling of the triangular lattice, written as tiling of the square lattice. And so this is the equation, the quadratic equation for the triangular lattice. And if you compare all this with the Z algebra, the general algebra, this gives you, in fact, here means a 0. It means that rhombus tiling are the Q tableau of this quadratic algebra, where 3 of the parameters, this one, Q point equals 0, and these 2 are 0. So if I just put these 2 equals 0, I have Alter-Einstein matrices. But if I have one more parameter equals 0, then I get the rhombus tiling. You are surprised? No, no, combinatorics is beautiful. See, everything fit in the same setting. And now if I want to express what I have done, adding these special tiles, so I have to put some numbers, some labels. So here I have, see, I start with B, 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 A. They are border of tile, and what happened is that here I have, if I read the word here, I am inside the tile. Vertical, so I have A dot, A dot, A dot, then A, then B, 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 I have border of tile, and here again, I am inside the tile. Which means that the number of tiling of this hexagon A by B by C, this gives you, it's a C of U, V, W, where W, the word W is B power C, B power A power B, A power C, because this is the size, this is C, this is A, this is B, and this is again C, you see. And the 2 words U and V are exactly this word here, which are given by the parameter A and B and C. So I can rewrite the number of tiling as on a hexagon of size ABC. I can rewrite this as, again, the coefficient C of UVW in a certain quadratic algebra with this starting word W and the ending word equal UV. So everybody knows that these tiling are in bijection with plane partition. Plane partition is this is a plane partition. It's analog of a Ferrer diagram in 3-dimensional in the space. So the usual definition is you have a tableau of numbers. Here is in Anglo, in British notation, going down. So the number, you put some number in row and column. The number go decreasing in the row from left to right. The number go decreasing, weakly decreasing in row from left to right, weakly decreasing in column from top to bottom. And you can, this is an encoding, a coding of this 3-dimensional Ferrer diagram. You have a certain pile of cube here, and above each cube, the projection of this pile of cube is exactly this Ferrer diagram. And above each cell of the Ferrer diagram, you put how many cubes are on the top of this cell. So here there is 6 cubes, 6, etc., 4, 4, and this is a coding of such a 3-dimensional Ferrer diagram, the analog of Ferrer, 2-dimensional Ferrer, and it is well known that plane partition, in fact, are in bijection with tiling of the triangular lattice. If you take this perspective of the plane partition, if you just complete the plane partition by the 3 faces of this cube, and you take the projection gives you the 3 types of tile of the triangular lattice. So there is a bijection, just taking the projection of the perspective of the plane partition of the Ferrer diagram in the space, taking the projection gives you the tiling of the hexagonal lattice, and you have so your plane partition is in a box of size ABC. ABC, it's like a room of size ABC, a rectangular room, and then you put some cube in one of the corners, so that in a special way there is. If you climb the mountains of cube, there is no peak. This is a condition that the number in the plane partition are decreasing weakly in row and column. There is no peak in if you want to climb the mountain of cube, but there is no peak in all the 3 directions. And so this is the bijection between plane partition and triangular tiling of a triangular lattice. And it's very well known, very classical subject in combinatorics. We have proof, give a complete proof of this 2 years ago in the part 1 of the bijective course. I give a complete proof of this formula. This formula is a famous McMahon formula for the number of plane partitions which are inside the box. It's a product of all these beautiful numbers. So this is an integer, and the number of such plane partition inside the box ABC is this. So it's just for fun that I can translate this into number of plane partition is a coefficient C of UVW in this quadratic algebra with W and U and V equal to this.
What about the Q enumeration? The Q enumeration value of the Q?
Here there is no Q here, but we can put a Q, yes. Yes, we can put a Q to put the Q dialog, number of Q, everything. Well, I want to make things more simple, but of course we can put a Q. But the philosophy is that is there a general technique for any quadratic algebra to find a formula for this C of UVW? This contains the McMahon formula. This contains a number of alternating matrices, alternating sign matrices. So this contains many things. So is there some new idea to count this by this perspective of working with quadratic algebra? I don't know. Now we can go to the square lattice. On the square lattice also you can tile a rectangle on the square lattice with some dimers, horizontal dimers or vertical dimers. So this is a well-known problem in physics. In the solution of the Ising model, there is an explicit formula for the number of tiling of a rectangle. There is a very complicated formula, but there is also bijective proof of this formula. So you can just rewrite this See, what is the quadratic algebra related to tiling of the rectangle? So in that case, there is two types of tile, vertical dimers or horizontal dimers. And again, we do the same thing as the triangular lattice. I will put a plane edges when it's a border of the tile, a dot edges when it's inside the tile with the corresponding operator. B and A for edges at the border of the tile. Now the dot for when it's inside the tile. And again, you see, just check the different possible local configuration. When you have, so when you have BA, and you want to rewrite this as something, then BA can be this case. Here is BA is going to be rewritten, or no, don't look the prime. It's A dot B, or it can be also A, BA can be this. So it's going to be A, B dot. And so the equation will be BA equal this product plus this product. Now if you have B dot A, there is only one case. B A dot again, there is only one case. And if you have B dot A dot, then it's impossible. I put a 0. So if you look carefully, all the possible local configuration of a tiling of the square lattice, you get all this. And this is the same as plane. No, it's not the same as plane partition. It's different. Plane partition was. I will show you the system. There is B dot A dot equals 0. So this is a. So if I go back to my general system of the 8 parameters, so the tiling of the rectangle is 0, 0, 0, 0. You see, but triangular lattice, there was not 0 here. Triangular lattice, only 3, 0. Rectangular lattice, 4, 0. So. And ASM only 2, 0, yes. Yes, question?
Could we just go back to
This? This, okay. This is all the possibility. If you see, I look locally a square in the tiling, and I am looking this as a philosophy of planar automata, rewriting. So I just look whenever BA, all possible case. There is two different cases to have oriental edges, two different cases oriental edges. So there is four possible cases. If the oriental edges is B or B dot, if vertical edges is A or A dot, and then I'm going to rewrite this as so I have to look what can be the label here. What can be the label of these edges here? So I claim that if I have this label BA, this is the only possible configuration where the B is here, the A is here, and then I have BA here, and then I get A dot B. Or maybe this possibility, I have BA, and I have A B dot.
So I'm confused because either you commute, either you just commute or you commute and change the dots. But here you're doing something else.
BA, give a...
Yeah, no A dot, we should be A dot, B dot. It's
Ah.
not the same as the A.
Ah, sorry. Ah, yes. It's not the same. Oh, there is a big mistake. Yeah, because
Yeah, so one dot is changing.
only one dot is changing. So it's a different.
It's not possible to reparameterize.
So it's a different algebra. So you have to change. Yes. But here I am confused. BA equal AB plus A dot B dot. So BA equal A dot B plus A B dot. Yes, so there is a big mistake. You have to rewrite the transparencies, and so it's not the same Z algebra.
It's a new algebra.
It's a new another one. Thank you for your perspicacity to look carefully that. I was so enthusiastic that I put everything under the same roof, but it's a good news that this tiling of a square lattice void is another subalgebra. Because I was a little surprised that this equation is like a subset. Taking square lattice is like a sub-tiling of the triangular lattice.
But I hope the early part was
Okay, I will change the slides. It's good that it's a class. I was in another thinking. And now the famous Aztec tiling. So this is the Aztec diagram. You see, it's when you cut by a horizontal line in the middle, it's like an Aztec pyramid. The shape, the external shape is like Aztec pyramid, and you have a lake in front of your pyramid, which reflects the Aztec pyramid in the lake, and so you have the reflection of the pyramid, and the tiling of this diagram is just a tiling with dimers. All the dimers are 2 by 2 disjoint. But everybody know what is a tiling. I did not define what it is, but the tiling of with again dimers, and there is a very, very beautiful formula. If you take number of tiling of the rectangular of a rectangle, it's very complicated formula with the zero of the Chebyshev polynomial, everything. But for this tiling, say we have turned, instead of taking a square, we have turned the square like this and put the border like the shape of an Aztec pyramid, and then the number of such tiling is 2 power n and minus 1 over 2. It's a power of 2. If the size of the diagram is n, and this was proof in a paper by these people in '92. So I'm not going to give a proof of this formula. I just want to show that this is again a Q tableau. The Aztec tiling can be viewed as a Q tableau of this big Z algebra. So now you have to. I keep the Aztec. No, I turn the Aztec diagram 45 degrees, so that now my dimers. See, my dimers become like this in the Aztec diagram, and I cut with vertical edges and horizontal edges, and I look carefully what are the different possibilities for A dot, and B dot. So see, you have two different cases. For vertical edges, A dot is a diagonal of the square of a tile, but of the lowest square. And here it's a diagonal of the upper square of a tile for the vertical edges. I have 2 different cases for vertical edges. And similarly, 2 different cases for horizontal edges. I have a horizontal edges here, which is the lower square of a dimers. And here's the upper square of the dimers. And then I look again the rewriting rule for the Aztec diagram. So I have to look all possible cases. So if you look carefully, see this. Remember the tiles are like this or like this. So this can be the intersection, the junction of four possible tiles. So if you look carefully, I hope there is no mistake now. That everything is. So you see here you have the equation B. So this case, where I have a B and A, give you AB plus A dot B dot. If I have this case, B dot A dot, give me. So B dot A dot give me. It can give me A dot B dot like this term. So this is interesting because if I have B dot A dot, give me this first configuration. I just commute A dot and B dot. But there is 2 other configurations here. B dot A dot can give AB in 2 different ways. So 2 appear here. there is two possibilities to get the rewriting b dot a dot equal ab in two different ways. I have a 2, and everything else is should work. This commutation, this equation, this equation. Now what you see, you recognize now this system of equation is exactly the same as for the alternate sign matrices, except that instead of a 1, you have a 2 here. You see all the possible case. If you look carefully, I think that I did not make mistake. Give you this system of equation, which means that if you take, there is a polynomial an of x, which enumerates the number of alternate sign matrices by the number of -1. This is a classical parameter to enumerate. If there is no -1, this is n factorial, the permutation. So you have a polynomial enumerating alternate sign matrices by number of -1. If you put a1 of x equal 1, you get the number of alternate sign matrices. But if you put x equal 2, you get exactly the number of Aztec tiling. And this is well known that it is, in fact, in the paper by these 4 people, they give a bijection between Aztec tiling and alternate sign matrices where the -1 has 2 colors. Putting a 2 on the polynomial means you put 2 different colors for the -1. -1 was a red cell, and when I was working with blue and red cell, so you have 2 different red cells. And they give a bijection, and this is an of 2. So this gives another proof. I don't give any proof of this formula. It would be nice to have a direct proof with using only quadratic algebra, but I just give a proof here that an of 2 is the number of is exactly the number of Aztec tiling. Even this would give a bijection if you look carefully the 2 different rewriting rules of the algebra. So this number an of 1, the number of alternate sign matrices, is very interesting sequence. The formula was very difficult to prove, and in fact there's only 3 formulas which are known. An of 1 is the number of alternate sign matrices. An of 2 is the number of Aztec tiling, and an of 3 has the formula also relating to the theory of orthogonal polynomial, and it's a deep formula also. And that's the only 3 formulas which are known for an of an integer. Yes? An of x is a polynomial which for the generating polynomial for enumeration of alternate sign matrices by the number of -1. So an of x is a polynomial, the constant term, so the term coefficient of x power I will be the number of alternate sign matrices of size n having I -1. It's like a generating function or a polynomial enumeration. So an of 0 is n factorial because there is no -1. So it's a constant term of this polynomial. And an of so it's a polynomial. It's when you enumerate alternate sign matrices by number of -1. And I claim that an of 2 by this configuration, by this setting of a quadratic algebra in writing, give you a proof that an of 2 equal number of tiling, Aztec tiling. And even if you look carefully at the local configuration, you can get bijection. No, total number of -1. Huh? Yeah. An of x is a polynomial. The coefficient of x power I is the number of alternating sign matrices of size n, and having I -1. Total number of -1 is I. So it's. This would be here there is a 2. It's a. If you keep the parameters, then this will give you an analog of number of inversions. There is some. The Q can be a number of inversions. There is 2 number of inversions possible. Usually, in literature, we don't keep the 8 parameters. There is 1 or 2 parameters in the. There is some formula also for. It's analog of inversion of permutation. There is inversion of alternate sign matrices. But here, it's this coefficient is counts the number of minus 1.
Is there a direct projection between S and N?
But from the equation, you can because in both cases, if you look the local configuration, here the two come from these two different cases. So you should associate two, because they have exactly the same system of equation, same system of rewriting rule. So you should associate to each of these a minus 1 and two different minus 1 to each of these cases. See, from this local rewriting, if you look also the local rewriting of Althusser matrices, you can just map one rewriting to the other in both from the Aztec and from the Althusser matrices, and you should be able to, from this.
You should have a projection from
Yes. Yes. If, for example, if you forbid this configuration, then you will have a projection to the Althusser matrices. But you can intuitively think that from the local rule, from the local rewriting, which is exactly the same in both, given same equation, same rewriting, you can map one of these cases, all the possible cases, map this to the possible case of the Althusser matrices, map this one by one, and get the bijection. I don't know if it's the same as the bijection of these 4 people. So this is, again, not an exercise, but from this you can look if which bijection you get, and is it compare with the bijection by these 4 people.
It should be easy to program it.
Yes, it should be easy to program. As soon as you have exactly the same system of equation with a coefficient 1 or 2, and each system comes from a local rewriting rule, so you can compare each term of the system, give you a rewriting for the Aztec diagram, a rewriting for the Althusser matrices. If you put them together, so locally you should get a bijection by transform a local configuration into a local configuration, and then the two come from the two possible configuration, which will give you 2 different minus 1 in the Althusser matrices. And it would be nice maybe to compare with the bijection, but a good programmer will do this. Okay. Now there is some very famous, I cannot resist to give you some, if you take a random Aztec tiling, it's written with 4 colors, because the 4 colors you have 2 kinds of dimers, horizontal or vertical dimers, and now you can color the Aztec diagram like a chessboard, with the cell become black and white, black, white, etc. And when we have an horizontal dimer, there is 2 kinds of horizontal dimer. It's a black and white or a white and black. Vertical dimers also, there is a white above and black below, or the reverse. So there is 4 possible colors for the dimers, and if you look the 4 possible colors, you see appearing this circle appear. So on the corners, all the dimers have the same colors. It's like if they are frozen, and here inside, it's like a gas. In fact, this is a famous Arctic circle theorem that you don't need to state the theorem. You can see the theorem from the picture. If you take a random Aztec diagram, each Aztec diagram appears with the same probability. Inside the picture, it's a gas. If you take deep inside, the probability to get one of these 4 possible dimers is 1 over 4, 1 over 4, 1 over 4, 1 over 4. Probability to get red dimers here is 1, and 0 for all the other. And this probability is average. It's just approximative, but the approximation becomes better and better as soon as you get a bigger and bigger random Aztec. Already here you can see the circle appearing. So it's very beautiful combining probability, physics, and so it's called Arctic circle because this is frozen and this is hot region, the gas inside, and this is frozen, and the circle, when it's become the probability suddenly becomes from 1 over 4, it becomes suddenly equal to 1, and 0 for the other color. So you just from the picture you can feel what is the theorem. You see, it's beautiful, and the more bigger you get the diagram, and the circle appear in a more very clear in a So now we can make an, if I go back to the general XXZ tableau, this I talk about the 6 and 8 vertex model. So there is a geometric interpretation of this tableau. So the geometric interpretation, it's, you have two kinds of letters, B and B dot, A and A dot. Then you can replace, when you have a cell with an edges, a B, you replace the B by these vertical edges in green, or B dot you can replace by an edges going down. A you can replace by edges going to the left, and A dot. So you just replace the letters by two possible edges, crossing the edges labeled A or B, and this is exactly, in fact, the 8 vertex model. The 8 vertex model is the following. You see, you have 8 possible, in each cell, each edges is crossed by an edge. And the 8 vertex model means there is an even number of edges getting in and an even number of edges getting out. Here there is 4 edges getting inside. Here there is 4 edges getting outside. Here 2 edges are getting in and 2 edges are getting out. So there is an 8 vertex model. The total number of model is 16. If you to put an edges for any edges, there is 2 possibilities for each edges to put an edges going up or down. So the total number of configuration is 16, but the 8 vertex model, you restrict only to even number of edges going in and even number of edges going out. And so this system of equation with the 8 parameters correspond to the 8 possible local configuration. And then I can look what is the Q tableau, the geometric interpretation of the Q tableau. When I replace the Q tableau, there is everywhere a cell with a B, A, B dot, A dot. If I replace this cell by these green edges, what is the configuration? For example, the Alter-Einstein matrices. Alter-Einstein matrices was with these two parameters equal 0, which means in the 8 vertex model, I am putting these 2 parameters equal 0. So which means that, in fact, the 6 vertex model, this is another very well-known model in physics, 6 vertex model means that there is 2 edges on each cell, 2 edges are getting inside, and 2 edges are going out. So it's model in physics because they put some parameter, local parameter, and they want to compute what is called the partition function. It's the sum of all the weight of all possible configuration with some condition on the border. So to solve this, if computing the partition function is more or less equivalent with some border condition to compute the total the generating function for such tableau, for the Z tableau, or according to some border conditions, the word W and the word UV. So this is the 6 vertex model, which is also sometimes it's see, 2 edges are getting in, 2 edges are getting out. There's 6 possibility. This is also called the ice model, because if you take a water molecule and all the possible way to put this as an ice, like a regular, and the 2 hydrogen atoms, you have to put them somewhere, and this is exactly a 6 vertex model configuration. So this is why it's called also the ice model. And let's see the relation with Alter-Einstein matrices. So because the 6 vertex model is exactly the same, is related to the configuration of the Alter-Einstein matrices, where we have 0 and 0 here. So the 6 vertex model should be in bijection with Alter-Einstein matrices. So this is a geometric interpretation of my, this is a possible configuration of the 6 vertex model with some, so this is a possible configuration of this model, and here is a corresponding Alter-Einstein matrices. So in each vertex, there is 2 edges getting inside, 2 edges getting out. And so you will put a 1 when the configuration is like this. You will put a -1 when the configuration is like this. And you put 0 everywhere else. So here is your alternate sign matrices. So there is a bijection because, of course, it's the same system of equation. There is a very classical bijection between alternating sign matrices and configuration of the 6 vertex model, but there is some condition.
Boundary condition.
The boundary condition is called the domain wall condition, is because on the left, all the edges must come inside the grid, must go from left to right. All the edges on the right must go from right to left. All the edges above must go away above, and all the edges below must go down. So this is called, this fourth condition, this is called the domain wall condition. And so the 6 vertex model in physics with this border condition, domain wall condition, is equivalent to the enumeration of equivalent to the putting the generating function of alternating sign matrices. The 2 configurations are in bijection. And this is the way that alternating sign matrices was solved by Kuperberg. The first proof was given by Zellberger in a very, very long paper, but the second proof was given by Kuperberg, going back to the solution, because there is a solution in physics of the 6 vertex model with domain wall condition, but you have to put some parameter, some root of unity, so it's a little strange that in a pure enumerative problem, you have to go through the physics and all the way the physics solves the model with the Young-Baxter equation, all the classical tool in physics, and putting some parameter which are roots of unity, so there are not at all any parameter, formal variable. So a direct proof is still open, a direct commutative proof for the number of alternating sign matrices. Okay, I will stop here, and the chapter 2 is not finished, so there will be one more, one more session. Okay, thank you very much.